I am live, yeah. Step back. Hey everyone! I am just making a coffee. I'll be back in a sec. What? I know. We don't have to do like proper, but enough so that it's presentable. Oh. Hey everyone. Sorry I'm late. Sorry. I apologise. My bad. Why are you talking to me now I'm live? What's up? You've had all day. Hey Connor, how's it going, buddy? Right. Bosh. It's a good day, guys. It's a good day. F1's back. I've got a brand new phone. Buzzing. Can you hear me all right? Is that all right? Is that all good? Not too loud? Hey, Oni. Am I ready for the tour race later? No. To say the least. I have been busy doing uni assignments the last 2 weeks, which is why our content has been a little bit few and far between. But yes, I am. I did like 10 minutes practice earlier, but I was having some stuttering issues with my headset, Connor. So I've got a driver that needs to be updated. So I'm hoping that will sort the issue, and me just reloading into the session will be okay. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. So update, guys. Yeah, P1. So we didn't really learn too much from P1. Obviously, it's an afternoon test session again, which is not comparative to any of the qualifying or race session conditions. So practice 2 is really where we're going to see probably the true pace coming up. I've seen some data analysis pages that I follow. No one was at top speed of what they achieved in the third and final day of testing. So the one thing is that Aston Martin, of course, were very up there again. Lando Norris was up there in P4, I think it was, or top 5. So make of it what you will. I'd read that Mercedes had some issues in regards to mid-corner oversteer, but their top speed was more comparative to the Ferrari this time. But yeah, this session, I think we might see some of the soft tyres be thrown out there. And this is probably where we're going to see more relative pace to what these cars can actually achieve. So yeah, this is the interesting one. So, what did you miss last stream? A couple of donos. Yes, yeah, a couple of donos. Yeah, it was good. A couple of subs as well, as in like memberships. So big thank you, guys. How many days has it been since Abu Dhabi? Like 102. Abu Dhabi was November, wasn't it? It was before the World Cup started. So yeah, it's been like 4 months. I'm not too sure about getting Finassi is running lighter fuel than Merc and Ferrari. Yeah, I still expect Ferrari and Mercedes to have a comfortable top four. To be fighting for the podium. I still expect them to be the top 3 running teams in Bahrain. Aston Martin, I think, I think Aston Martin, what they might do, I think they might form like their own little group where they'll just be quicker, considerably quicker than the mid-pack, but maybe a touch off the pace of the top 3. That's how I think it's going to play out this season. They'll definitely be fighting for podiums, I think. That car's definitely got some pace. So, no worries, Marlon. I'll see you soon, buddy. See you soon. Hey, Javier. Welcome, everyone. This is the first watch-along of the year, properly. I didn't count the test session one as a watch-along. But I'll tell you what, let me just switch scene and make sure everything's okay in regards to setup with the track map. But we're not blocking any views out. I know I've got to change this. Let me there we go. Should be able to see that now. So yeah, well, we'll see what we've got in store for this practice session. I'm intrigued to see what tyres people are going to run. Mercedes didn't run any soft tyres. We also didn't see Ferrari with any soft tyres. Of course, allocation throughout the weekend is limited, so they can't just go out there and run soft tyres the whole time, because otherwise they'll have none available for the race. So yeah, well, we'll see. Exciting as a Spaniard. Yeah, do you know what? I'd like it. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Aston Martin up there. Not at the expense of Mercedes, but it'd be intriguing to see Alonso fight it out up front, wouldn't it? Because he definitely hasn't lost any of that feistiness as he's got older. That's for sure. Can I make my camera a bit smaller? You mean you want to see less of me, Marlin? That's what you're here for, though, isn't it? I'll make it a touch smaller. There we go. So you've still got all the information available there. More competition is better, in all honesty. So it's a bit awkward because I can't move. Well, I can move this over. No, we'll leave it. We'll leave it there. That's all the information that we need, isn't it? Really. Right. I need to kind of make that flat, so that it sits there. That's all right, Marlin. We'll be doing plenty of the watch-alongs this year, starting it from the get-go this season. How's the music level, guys, as well? Is it okay? Do you want me to reduce the music level a touch? Happy to do so if you think it's a bit too loud. But we've got only a couple of minutes until the actual practice session starts. So it's good to hear the theme music again. Of course, you guys can't see that. We are not allowed to stream the. We're not allowed to stream, of course, the session live in regards to TV coverage, because that would be illegal. and our channel would get taken down, and we don't want that. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see this session and see how it goes. But yeah, no, guys, if you are new here to this channel, please do subscribe. I'm much appreciated. We are fast approaching 10,000 subscribers. Less than 200 required. I think it's 180 now I need to get to 10k. That'd be a brilliant milestone to achieve. And as always, you can help support the channel by hitting that like button. And you can also join as a member as well for less than the price of a coffee in helping support my channel moving forward for these watch-alongs and, of course, all the other content that I bring to you guys. But let's have a quick butchers at Twitter. I'm going to have a quick butchers at Twitter and see if anyone's saying anything interesting. Has there been any kind of news while we've been on air? And here we go, Kaka straight in with the 5 months. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you resubbing, man. You're only one away, I think, from getting the 6-month badge. I think it goes to 6 months. I think that's right. Here we go. This is a good one. Break is very good. It's a former performance engineer for Red Bull. So I know it's only FP1, but let's take a look at Red Bull and Mercedes. Most teams are about 2 seconds off their fastest time in testing. There's so many caveats around FP1. So let's talk about the caveats. So looking at some of the data, let's see what is broken down from the first test session. Track conditions suck. Yeah, exactly what I said. It's dusty, dirty, low grip. Teams are running different type programs out of sync, which is difficult to compare. Engine modes, it's not tested anymore. Teams are very likely running lower modes on their race engines. Expect them to sneak a high power run in FP2 and maybe FP3. And definitely, of course, for qualifying. All teams run different fuel loads. Red Bull out in FP1, and this is their lap compared to their fastest testing. Generally losing lap time exit to exit, lap time apex to exit most corners quite equally. These look pretty tough. They were on the medium while Red Bull fastest on the soft. This was Hamilton's second attempt as he huge snap at T6 and went wider to T8 on first attempt. Very low grip everywhere, using loads of times in medium speed and high speed. And apex to grip exit looks very poor. Yeah, that's what I saw a lot of tweets about. So they're the initial impressions from FP1. Not too much to take from it because everyone's still so very different. In regards to kind of strat and stuff that they're running, but no one out on track yet. We have got 1 minute, or less than a minute now until it starts. So, I wonder if we'll get a double 14 next year on iRacing since James Bowles has left. They might have renewed a contract. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We will see. 6, 12, and 24. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you only got 1 more month, mate. Then you got a nice, shiny new badge. I think it's green. I think it goes to green. Yeah, no, yeah, mine and I haven't seen them. I think the YouTube kind of scrubbed a few of them from the platform, which is good. Here we go. Session is live. We have got practice 2 underway. Lance Stroll straight out as he wants to get some time in the car as much as he can after his, of course, surgery that he's had on his wrist. So, but everyone coming out on the mediums. It's kind of dusk, I would say, like early evening. It's going to be getting to, what is it? They're 4 hours ahead, 7 o'clock. Ocon is out on the soft tyre. Okay, so we're seeing some guys straight in on the soft tyre. We've had F3 qualifying in between this as well, guys. So would have added more rubber to the track. So the track is going to get grippier and faster as as time goes on. Yeah, no Drago. A bit unfortunate. It is a bit unfortunate. So both Alpines are coming out and doing some soft runs. Interesting. Stroll's probably higher on painkillers than Snoop Dogg on a good day. Yes. Yeah, he's got to be on some form of medication. There's no way that he's going to be after surgery, even if it's minor surgery to that wrist, there's no way that he's going to be in there without having some injections or being on some drugs. I assume he's probably on like injections straight into the area to like numb it. He must have had a fracture. Must have fractured it, especially if he's had surgery on it. They've probably pinned it or something. If he completes a full Grand Prix, then yeah, I mean, probably high as a kite while doing it. But wow, what a busy track. We've basically got 15 cars out on track at the moment, straight away within the first 3 minutes. That is interesting. Got to admit, the cars do look good under the Bahrain lights. Problem is with this new rig, it's kind of disrupted where I can put my phone now for like a position. I have got like a stand that I'm trying to put on here, but it's not working. I might have to put it here. No, maybe. That's okay. Yeah, I'll put it over there. Just outside of your view. Sorry, guys. Proper first world problems show. It really is first world problem. I'm not complaining because the rig's amazing. It's better than having the wobbly thing. That's for sure. Wow, what a busy circuit. Look at that. Look at that. So interesting, the Mercedes are out. Mercedes and Ferrari's out on the soft tyres, guys. So keep an eye out on their lap times. They're doing some soft runs, which they didn't do in the first practice session. So Stroll goes in with 133 on the mediums. I'm going to get last... Well, no, I'm not going to get last laps up because it was kind of not really comparative because the track conditions. So we're going to treat this as its own separate thing and its own separate session to keep an eye out on. But yes, the Alpines, the Ferraris and the Mercedes on soft tyres at the moment. So Hamilton is on an out lap. Ocon is on his first timed lap, as you can see here. Caught up a little bit by Hamilton, so probably a slow lap time, to be fair. 32.4. Of course, different fuel loads. But we have 19 out of the 20 cars on track. Wow. Thankfully as well, no mechanical issues from any of the teams in the first session, which is great to see because reliability is a form or an element, of course, of F1, but we don't want to see races decided on reliability. Much rather see it dealt with out on track or in regards to strategy. Sainz straight in with a 1:31.9. Are we going to have to wait till P3 before everyone shows their hand? No, because this session is the session that is... I believe P3 is another late afternoon session. So the track conditions, once again, aren't relative to qualifying and relative to the race. So this session, I think, is where we're probably going to see more of teams' truer hands and truer pace than anything. Will we see quali runs? Not so sure. I don't know. Maybe we might do, just to dial in the setup and that. But so straight in with the 31s for the two Ferraris. Hamilton come across the line with a 32.4. I think he got caught up with a bit of traffic. What about Russell? Where's George Russell at the moment? He is on a flying lap, being held up by traffic though. De Vries and Albon. Will that affect his lap time or his first lap time? Let's see. As he comes around the last corner, across the line, and he does a 32.5. So only a tenth separating Hamilton and Russell there. Not a lot between them and very comparative times. Interesting. Is that genuine pace from the, or lack of pace from the Mercedes? Are they running a more higher higher fuel load, lower power mode. This is the thing. Morning, Timo. Good to see you, buddy. The video quality is bad, Miffin. I don't think it is. It might just be on your end, unfortunately. I think, yeah, it might be. Unfortunately, you're not receiving enough data through the internet on your end. Do apologise for that, mate. Fuel pit stop would be interesting as fuck. Well, it's just another element of things to go wrong, isn't it? Okay, so Carlos Sainz is straight in the pits. Straight in the pits. He only did 3 laps, or not even 3 full laps on the soft tyres. So maybe I just wanted to go out and just get a feel for the soft tyres. I mean, it's a very, very busy track to keep those tyres on and to try and just pump in lap times on the softs might be a bit of a waste of time. Although he has come in and he's coming out on another set of softs. Okay. Always happens in India. Yeah, sorry about that, mate. How to watch F1 live without subscribing? Well, subscribing to them. So make sure you subscribe to me, though. So no one is going to be using the hard tyre, I don't think, in practice. The hard tyre is normally... Last year, it wasn't a good tyre because they couldn't switch on the tyres quick enough. But this year, the tyre... I think the hard tyre is definitely going to be very, very useful at Bahrain. It's a high abrasive circuit. So Pirelli have given us... given the teams a much harder compound of tyre to use. And the hard tyre in itself generally is kind of the optimum tyre here. It's a very good race tyre. But it's also key to have some of the softs available to mix up your strategy if need be. But yeah, that's a very, very busy circuit. Everyone wanting to get... I mean, this is the conditions we're going to see in qualifying and in the race. So that's why... Oh, hang on. Leclerc reporting that he saw something strange with the clutch. Let's have a look at it. Hopefully not another reliability issue. But lots of people out on the soft tyres now. Logan Sargent, Alex Albon, Magnussen. Hopefully De Vries. I'm looking forward to seeing how De Vries gets on, especially in comparison to Tsunoda. Really looking forward. So Hamilton's back out on another set of softs as well. So yeah, we're seeing a lot more soft running. I wonder if we'll see any quali laps. It's going to be tough with this amount of traffic to really get in a quick lap time and not have your lap be affected. But let's keep an eye. Key here is to keep an eye on the Aston Martins as well. They're on the medium tyres at the moment. Alonso in 8th, and we've got Stroll in 13th. 1:33.5 and a 1:32.6 thus far. Doing a few longer runs, but no one seems to be taking their tyres longer than kind of 4 or 5 laps at the moment. Any idea on Ferrari performance levels? So Ferrari are around... If testing is to go by in first practice session, they're second in performance. But there's also worries yet again. I think the key really for Ferrari is if they can limit and reduce how much their car scrubs tyres. Last year, they really did eat through tyres, and they were good over a single lap because they was able to switch those tyres on very quickly, but then they just couldn't make them last throughout a race. And of course, with their strategy errors as well, it just compounded to worse and worse performances. If they've been able to sort that issue out, I think they've got a car probably to compete with Red Bull. Red Bull are still the team to beat. The car just looks so solid. They've just improved it from last year. But the key for other teams is whether or not if they can compete with Red Bull, and if they can, and it bodes well for the rest of the season, because as the development progresses, the Oh, a yellow flag here. Where's the yellow flag? Who is off or stopped? I can't see a car that's off. Is anyone going slow? Who went off? Someone's had a wiggle somewhere. I'm waiting for the TV coverage to catch up to see. Piastri. Did Piastri have another off there? Did he? I know he had a little wobble earlier. TV coverage hasn't... He's going slow, isn't he, Piastri? Hamilton looks like he's trying to build up a bit of a gap. Try and build himself a bit of free air so that he can probably maybe put in a quick lap time. Oh yeah, Piastri, big lock up into the first corner. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so basically with Red Bull's cost cap penalty that they got dished out in regards to the aero development that they're not able, or the lack of aero development that they've been given, I reckon that it'd be interesting if teams are close enough to them in performance now. They should be able to gain that and maybe get ahead of them as the season progresses. But Red Bull still had a very, very good car. I'm so far ahead of everyone else in regards to design and concept that it's going to take a while for that penalty to take effect, really, and for the other teams to catch up. They're still playing catch up, even with that penalty. So, right, so here's Hamilton. Hamilton is now going to do a flying lap, I think. It looks like it. He was definitely backing up the pack. It looks like he's found a bit of free air. But Bottas is on his way out of the pits. Let's see what Hamilton can do. Can we go on board with his times and have a look at his sectors? It's not altering it, unfortunately, for us. Still showing green everywhere. Maybe because it's practice. Normally, as he goes through the sectors, it will update itself and show us whether he's improved or if he's slower than his fastest lap time. But it's not doing that, unfortunately. But he has found a bit of a gap, and we'll see what he can do. But at the moment, Leclerc fastest with two Ferraris. Gasly 32.3, so half a second off of those. He did 6 laps on the softs. That's interesting. Both Alpines taking those soft tyres a bit longer than everyone else has. But yeah, they're all coming to the pits now. Be interesting to see if they come out on the mediums, I suspect. Russell's back in the pits. But I wonder if Hamilton's going to pit this time around or if he is actually going to do a completed lap. Did look like he was on a bit of a push lap. Let's see. Apart from being kind of held up from Hulkenberg, I think he's got a relatively clean lap here. Can he improve on a 32.4 and get into the 31s? No, well, he improves a 32.2, but he's still 4 tenths slower than Leclerc. Interesting. I really hope that isn't the case. And that isn't their true relative pace. But, yeah, that's an interesting one, that. Oh, Max Verstappen reporting that he feels the car is jumping around a lot more than it did in testing. Interesting. Interesting. Track temperature is 27 degrees at the moment. Let's have a look at Twitter, see what people are saying, if anyone's saying anything. So everyone in the pits now. Nearly 20 minutes done of this first practice session. So that was definitely a push lap by Hamilton. I haven't seen it on camera yet on the TV coverage to see how the car was reacting through the corners. Was it still receiving at that mid corner oversteer? I must admit, as much as I don't like the stake sponsorship, I do like how the Alfa Romeo looks under the lights. Looks really nice. So, after a very busy first 20, or just under 20 minutes, 17 minutes, everyone's now back in the pits. So let's have a quick rundown of timing. So Leclerc and Sainz on their soft tyres at the top. First and second, Hamilton third with 32.2, 4 tenths off of those top two, with Gasly and Ocon very close behind. They did a few laps longer on their soft tyres. Perez is looking very ominous, you know. Only 6.5 tenths away from Leclerc and Sainz on the medium tyre. On a busy track as well. Hey, Anish, how's it going, buddy? Welcome, mate. We then have Russell on the soft tyre, 32.5, slower than Sergio Perez on the medium. Alonso, 8th, with 7-lap medium tyres. Sargent, Verstappen, Albon, Norris. So I would say maybe Ferrari, Lewis, and the Alpines have maybe shown truer pace here. I think maybe that's the first time we've seen. I mean, I don't know what was the quickest lap. I need to remind myself, what was the quickest lap times of practice one? I didn't see that. I could be completely wrong. I imagine they're still probably hiding a bit of true pace, but let's have a look. So, Formula 1, Perez quickest. Okay, so Anthony Davidson just said, so yeah, it took a few laps for Hamilton to get that. They're saying the Mercedes is still taking a couple of laps to warm up the tyres to get the performance out of them. That's second practice. So first practice, okay, so we had a 32.7 from Sergio Perez. So we're already like a second quicker than we was in the afternoon. Because, of course, afternoon session, less grippy, a lot hotter track surface means the track is going to be slower. So, yeah, 32, 33s. So we're considerably quicker than what he was earlier on, which is understandable. $32.8, 132. Okay, yeah. So only the Williams out on track now. But yeah, I mean, Alonso and Perez both being either side of George Russell on a set of softs. On those medium tyres, being one slightly quicker and one only slightly behind. It's a little bit worrying for Mercedes, if you ask me, at first glance. Could be Russell got caught in traffic. Could be that it's taken a couple of laps for those tyres to warm up and they're still high in performance, etc., etc. But yeah, that Alonso, where he is on medium tyres, being not far behind is. I mean, look, he's 2 tenths behind both Alpines on a set of medium tyres. Go on, Alonso, put on the softs and give us something more to talk about this session. You know he's going to go for a glory run, don't you? You know he's going to do it. Lewis wouldn't have been doing full battery usage if he was doing multiple fast laps in a row. Could be a couple of attempts left. Yeah, there's also fuel load to take into consideration as well. There's also the There's fuel load. There's also the power mode that they're using. There's still a lot that's maybe being hidden by every team. I mean, in a day, qualifying, you probably expect... I reckon there's a good second left in the tank on Leclerc's time in regards to qualifying. I mean, so what was the... Let's have a quick look. Let's do a little bit of research and have a look at last year's results. So last year's qualifying. So they're saying the cars are about 1 to 1.2 seconds quicker than they were last year. So if we have a look at Bahrain, the Bahrain qualifying lap time last year was a 1:30.5. That was what Charles Leclerc did in qualifying last year in Q3. So that means that really qualifying is going to be a 1. If they're about a second, 1.2 seconds faster, then it's going to be a 1:29.5, roughly. Definitely in the 1:29s that we're going to see a pole lap time, or at least a top 3. So there's still a lot left in the tank from everyone here. Did McLaren improve from pre-season? Difficult to tell. Norris did bring his car into top 5 in the first session, but it's the first session. Track conditions not really relative, as we've said before, as what we're going to see in qualifying in the race. Piastri looks like he's having a little bit of a hard time just controlling the car. I don't think that's necessarily him. I think that's just the way the car is reacting at the moment. Of course, Norris is going to have more experience than Piastri, especially with like these new iteration of cars. So you'd expect him to be quicker, especially out the block. But we'll see. They're now on the soft tyres. We have Perez on the soft tyres. Alonso is still in the pits. Stroll is on the soft tyres though, so Alonso must be coming out on soft tyres. Here we go. Alonso's on soft tyres. Let's keep an eye out. I'm intrigued. Here comes the glory lap, yeah? Sargent looking... Yeah, he does look very comfortable in that car, to be fair to him. He looked very comfortable in testing as well. But everyone out on soft tyres now. Verstappen's the only one who hasn't come out. And Gasly, so... Lewis and Russell using different setups, most likely because they have different ways of driving. They're not going to be running the same setup. I don't think they need to now. They don't need to have one trialing probably an experimental setup like they did last year. They're going to try and obviously come strong from the get-go. So they'll be trying to dial in their setups at the moment, how they like the car. Of course, they have to tailor their setups to how the car is reacting and driving, but yeah, definitely won't be like it was at the start of last season where Lewis was testing different experimental setups and things like that. Like the good thing for Mercedes is that, okay, let's say they most likely are down on a bit of pace compared to Red Bull and Ferrari. The important thing for them is that they're consistent and, oh, wow. Stroll straight in with a 31.4. Fucking hell. Sorry, excuse my language, guys. That Aston Martin. Okay, let's see Alonso. Alonso's going to be on his first push lap, but he's being held up by Bottas here, so he might get held up unless Bottas pulls out the way. I mean, Bottas has got him with a 31.7, so okay. So Alonso's got a little bit of a toe from Bottas here. Let's see if Alonso... He's got free air as well, so let's keep an eye on Alonso. It's a real shame, but can we compare lap times? I mean, look, it doesn't... It's not comparing properly, unfortunately. So we can't see if he's going to go... What time do we reckon Alonso's going to set? I reckon 31.2. No, actually, I reckon he's going to go for a glory lap. I reckon if he gets free air, he's being... Stroll going to let him by? Yeah, Stroll's letting him by. I reckon he's going to do a 31.0. Well, Hulkenberg's just done a 31.3, so clearly the track is ramping up and teams are starting to show their truer hand now. He's got another slipstream. He's got another toe from Sainz. So Perez has done up 31.0. So we're starting to see more relative times now of teams showing a bit more of their hands, turning the engines up, maybe lower fuel load. 31.3, 31.5. Here he comes. Bearing in mind, Alonso has had a toe. I reckon he's going sub 131. He's going sub 131 because he's had a toe on the main straight and on where the DRS activation zone 2 is, the middle straight as well. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the glory run. Told ya, a 30.9. There's the Alonso glory run. That Aston Martin has pace. We are in for a season, guys, if Alonso is fighting out front. So Max Verstappen is about to start his first time lap, I believe. So let's see what Max can do. He's got plenty of free air. But Alonso was quickest in the first sector. He was quicker than his previous lap time in the middle. And he was quickest at... So he was purple in the first and third sector, Fernando Alonso. So even with the toe from Logan Sargent down the middle sector, he wasn't the fastest. So where's Lewis at the moment? So the Mercedes struggling to switch on their tyres again, like they were last year in the first lap. Russell's being held up by Tsunoda, so he's definitely not going to set a fast lap time. Perez in the pits. I mean, we're still probably, as we said, a good second and a bit off of what we'll see fastest lap time in regards to quali. But, is Max going to get held up by this traffic here, or are they going to let him by? Looks like they're going to let him by. So I don't think Max got held up in turn 13 now. I think he's been okay. So let's see what he can do. What do we reckon, guys? 30.5? I reckon a 30.5. Here we go. A 31.0. Just watching his lap on track on TV now. So he was green. He wasn't the fastest, Max, in the first sector. He was fastest in the middle sector. Purple in the middle. But then in the last sector, he was slower than Fernando Alonso. And the car looks okay. So unless it was just down on power... Once again, don't know fuel load, so it's all guesswork, but we can at least hype it up. There's nothing to stop us from hyping it up, guys. Alonso and Max take each other out every race. Charles vs Perez World Drive Championship. Oh, could you imagine? I mean, Max has a bee in his bonnet for Lewis. Imagine what Alonso will be like. Alonso won't back out. Not like Lewis that's done. So Lewis came in pit. He wasn't able to set a lap time, really, or a quick enough lap time. It's taking a good few laps, it seems, for the Mercedes to heat their tyres up and get some performance in them. Similar to how it was last year. Russell was the same, just held up in traffic. So they've kind of abandoned what was their quick performance runs. But there's still a lot in the tank from every team here, that's for sure. But I'll tell you what, qualifying tomorrow is going to be good. Going to be good. Imagine it's everyone's been going, it's going to be Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. Imagine it's just an Aston Martin Red Bull Championship. Imagine that. And the thing is as well is that we're all talking about, oh, imagine if there's Max drama, Max and Alonso drama. Lance Stroll? Alonso and Stroll drama? Like, imagine the handbags that are going to be thrown between Stroll and Alonso, especially if Stroll is like just being outperformed by Alonso. I imagine there's going to be a little bit like a... Do you remember Mazepin with Mick Schumacher? And he was going, he's got different parts to me. He's got something different to me. It's the car. It's the car. It's like, no, you're just shit. But saying that, the fact Stroll is even in the car, setting a 31.4, out there doing laps right now is fucking credit to him. Absolutely credit to him. Qualifying tomorrow is at 3 o'clock. Multi. Is it 3 o'clock? Yeah, 3 o'clock. So same timing as it was yesterday. Practice 3 is at 11. I'm talking GMT time here. So UK time is at 11 o'clock in the morning, practice 3. And then we have qualifying at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then the race is at 3 o'clock on the Sunday as well. You reckon Aston are running light fuel, doing a lot of glory runs that I did in 2020? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But the thing is that the Aston Martin in... I don't delve into all of the data as much as what some of these guys do. But from the people that I speak to on the Missed Apex podcast and who do, and of course following a number of channels and pages on Twitter who break it down for us simpletons, they was very impressed with Alonso's race runs in testing. It opened a lot of eyes and a lot of questions, which is why a lot of pundits are going, ooh, Aston Martin's quicker than the Mercedes. So, but the Mercedes last year, even with the porpoising, you have to remember, they wasn't ever a car that was quick over a single lap last year, and it was shocking, the car. They was always much, much better over the race distance. It was a better race car than it was a quali car. So maybe the Mercedes is not... I don't expect to see Mercedes on pole. They'd be looking to maybe try and get a car in the top 3, maybe secure the 3rd row, and then do it in the race. But that's intriguing though, guys. Alonso at the top. So let's have a quick rundown. Alonso at the top, 130.9. Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Hulkenberg, as Mr. Ricardo likes to say, is in at 5th. That's not a bad time, a 31.3. I think that's going very understated. Lance Stroll, 31.4. Gasly. Oh, just watching George Russell. Ooh. So George had a big wobble as he came round turn 7. He got onto the curb here and had a big wobble and had to pull out of it a bit. Kind of worried for McLaren. Yeah. I think Aston is quicker than Merc, but to be honest, but the fact they're faster than Red Bull is fishy. Red Bull's still the team to beat. They've still got like plenty in the tank. Anthony Davison just said, he goes, I think Ferrari sandbag him. He's like, I definitely think they're sandbagging. So yeah, Alonso loves a glory run. He always has done. He wants to grab the headlines. He is an attention whore, as we like to say. He loves the limelight being on himself. So he'll be loving this right now, and it's exactly what he wants. So Carlos Sainz is on a race run at the moment, so we're not going to see quick times from him. Yeah, Anthony Davidson just saying Ferrari just aren't showing their hand whatsoever. They're not showing their hand and they're not going to. So where's Lando Norris? Lando Norris is about to start his first lap on these soft tyres. Is he on a longer race run now, or is he doing a quick run? I'm really annoyed that it's not updating the sector times here for Lando Norris as he goes round. It hasn't done this all throughout testing either. So let's see if he sets a faster lap time or if he's on a longer run. So Hamilton, but everyone out on the soft tyres now. So they're saving the medium tyres, saving the hard tyres for the race weekends. Does it make it difficult for Verstappen to win races? We should enjoy the season. No, but do you know what? I've said this. I said it last season and I'll say it this season. Look, I'd prefer someone else to win it than Max because I'm not particularly a Max fan. I'll admit that. But I have no issue with Max winning the championship at all. Last year, he won it fair and square. It was a bit boring and kind of we lost a bit of interest in the second half of the season. But as a race fan and an F1 fan, I want to see a fight to kind of at least to the end of the season. Like if it's wrapped up, if the championship's wrapped up like before the last race of the season, then fair enough. But like at least make it go a lot longer, make it interesting, and at least have there be a fight, whether it's between 2 drivers or if it's ideally between 3 drivers. That'd be great, and especially the constructors as well. The more we have to talk about and the more we have to look forward to in regards to the last, obviously longer throughout the season, then yeah, I have no qualms in who wins the championship. We always have our preferences of who we want to win the championship, but respect to anyone who does win it, as long as it's kind of a fight. That's what I want. So, massive fast lap last year in P2, a 1:31.9, and apparently the cars are 1 second faster. Yes, exactly what we said. Multi. So we said earlier on that the fastest qualifying time last year was a 1:30.5. So if it's to be expected, 1 to 1.2 seconds faster this year, the cars, as to be expected with just like natural development of the cars and progression, then yes, it's probably going to see, I reckon, the fastest quali lap of a 1:29.5, 1:29.3 maybe. So that's what we'll see. But guys, if you can hit that like button, be much appreciated. It helps push the stream and the channel out to new audience. Tell your friends. We'll be back here tomorrow for... I may try and make the P3 session. I might not be able to. I'll definitely be here for qualifying, and I'll be here for the race on Sunday as well. And continuing the F1 coverage for you. This evening, I will be doing my own 100% length race on iRacing. We have our own F1 series that runs in conjunction throughout the year on race weekends. So yeah, I'll be pretending I'm Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in the Mercedes W13, unfortunately. I wish it was a W14. But yeah, we'll be doing our own 100% race. Hopefully we can do well there. And of course, subscribe as well. We're fast approaching 10,000 subscribers, a milestone that it's been a long time coming, to be fair. So, yeah, much love, guys. Catching up with stream, just saw the Alonso lap. Yeah, it was quick. He did have a little bit of a... I didn't see the start of the lap, but I think he had a tow from Bottas down the main straight as well. So, he's happy with his lap times. He's out on the mediums now. But so let's have a look actually at the bottom. We've spent a lot of time talking about the top of the leaderboard at the moment. Let's have a look at the bottom. So at the moment, Sargent at the bottom, 32.7. I think there's a little bit more pace in that Williams. It does look like the Williams is the slowest car out there at the moment, overall, from what I've seen and read as well. Nick De Vries only just behind Sonoda there in 18th and 19th. Really hope De Vries does well this year. I really hope he does. Alex Albon in 17th. Magnussen hasn't really been able to get a decent lap time in, it seems. Maybe he's been doing some race runs rather than some performance runs, because Hulkenberg is up there in 5th place in a 31.3. That's a sneaky lap time up there, by the way, which I haven't heard really anyone on Sky TV talk about. That's a sneaky lap time. Piastri, struggling, it seems, with that Mercedes. The McLaren. It's his first race of the year, so kind of to be expected. But it does look like that McLaren's a little bit of a handful, especially Piastri's car. And then Bottas and Zhou as well. Zhou up there for 31.5. Doing a very solid job. It's a shame, really, that in Drive to Survive, a little bit of a spoiler, guys. It's a shame that in Drive to Survive, Zhou didn't get more coverage. The only coverage he got was his car flipping and crashing at Silverstone. Other than that, he didn't really get any coverage. I thought he had a very solid year last year. Considering that Alpha was just breaking down at every opportunity, especially in the kind of second half of the season. But we pretty much have a full track at the moment. So don't think we're going to see really any improvements on lap times. I reckon guys out here now are going to make the use out of the kind of 16 minutes we've got remaining, just running their lap times, running race runs, seeing how the car handles, maybe dialing in the setup a bit more. Only one more practice session to do so. Let's have a look at Twitter, see if there's any updates in regards to any information I can handle to you. Holy cow, the prophecy was true. I think Aston might be the fastest car. Let's have a look. Anything else? I think all the data really is going to be analysed after the race. After the session. Duh. Someone said here about comparing the Aston Martin and the McLaren. McLaren is down on top speed. It's down on incisive braking, and it's down on cornering grip. Basically, it's down in every single area. That's about it at the moment. Not too many other any other pieces of information to bring you, apart from people lording over Fernando Alonso. Bottas 38. So yeah, you can see now they're all doing 37s, 38s. They're all running high fuel. They've probably chucked more fuel in the car and doing their race runs, race simulations for the last. Oh, Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez complaining about his display. He's having a technical issue with his steering wheel and display by the sounds of things. Oh, who was that? Alonso had a big lock up on the right rear down into turn 10. As a Lando fan. Well, McLaren struggled last year as well, didn't they? They were down the back of. Didn't they finish like 16th and 17th last year at Bahrain? Wasn't a good first race for them. They've already openly come out and said that they haven't hit their development targets for this year already. Probably a car that's going to progressively get better throughout the year. But saying that though, Lando Norris, he has signed a contract. Quite a lengthy contract, isn't he? I think he's in his second year of a 5-year contract, 4-year contract. Is he going to start courting another seat elsewhere after this year if McLaren don't get their act together and look like that they're going to be a front-running team. Because he is young, he's got time on his side, but he knows he's probably got the ability to fight with Leclerc, fight with George, fight with Max, and he's not got a car to do that. Could he join Red Bull? Could Perez go? Could they get rid of Perez and take Norris? I think if that opportunity was there, Red Bull would do it. They've already approached him before. But how that dynamic would work with Max, I think that would see the end of their relationship, to be honest. I think we'd see a Lewis-Nico Rosberg situation. No shot, everyone is... Oh, wow. Albon on the hard tyre. I thought they'd save them. Maybe they just want that data, but I don't know what the tyre allocations are for this week, but Albon on the hard tyre. That's intriguing. Thought they'd save him for this weekend. But yeah, everyone doing race runs now. Verstappen 36A, Alonso 36.2, Perez 37.4. So yeah, kind of the interesting stuff has kind of ended now. Everyone out there kind of coasting round, gathering the data for their teams. But tomorrow's going to be interesting. Very interesting. I just hope it's a fight. Whoever it is at the top, whether it's Ferrari, whether it's Aston Martin, Red Bull, don't see Mercedes having that pace, especially over a single lap. I think as long as it's a fight tomorrow, that's what we want to see. What I heard is that Lando wants to be the main man in the team and not a Sergio Perez type situation with Max. Well, yeah, every driver does. Every driver. And that's the thing when you're going into Red Bull. You go into Red Bull, you know who number one is. You know who the main man is. So, yeah. But then there's also, on the other hand, well, I haven't won a race yet. I also want to be in a car that can at least compete for a World Championship title. Do I stay in a middle team? A team that is like struggling to be the best of the rest? Or do I go to a team that can I can maybe at least try and make my mark and become the main man? I mean, in the day, yeah, Max is the main man, but if someone goes into that team and they start beating Max on raw pace, I know Max is an absolute generational talent and he is fast, but he can be beaten and someone could possibly come in and do that to him. It could happen. There could be an anomaly where it happens. Then Red Bull could very well focus their attention on that driver or become a Mercedes type situation where they give fair, equal opportunity to both drivers. I don't know. I know what I would probably do. I'd probably join the Red Bull team because you'd much rather be in a car that's got the opportunity to provide you a World Championship and give you race wins and consistently get podiums than a car that's struggling to be the best of the rest. And the only way you're ever going to win a race is due to a lot of luck. So, yeah, I think if the situation arises again, he'll jump ship and he'll go to Red Bull. I think so. But we'll see. I think end of this year is going to be interesting. They signed Perez on a 2-year extension, didn't they? I think they gave him a 2-year contract. So I think he's there for this year and then he's there for the year after. Is that right? Or is he signed until 2025? I can't remember. Because I think he possibly could have had... This could have been his last year. Nick DeVries trying to find the limits of the car. Spa 2021. What's that, Anish? Very, very busy track. Not often we see this. But Magnussen still in the pit lane. Has he got an issue? He's been in the pit lane for a very long time. Unless they're making setup changes. Opinion on Hulkenberg? I've always liked Hulkenberg, but I think he's very fortunate. Hulkenberg's very fortunate to be back in F1. But it works for Haas. Watching Drive to Survive, Gunther Steiner just clearly doesn't know how to manage youngsters. I think he's a poor man manager anyway. And having two experienced drivers suits them better than having one experienced driver and a rookie. He absolutely just tore Mick Schumacher's confidence apart. And he's not someone that really, if you're trying to learn your trade in F1, but you want to work under. Especially like with Gene Haas as well. So it's good for him, but I think he's fortunate to be back in F1. And maybe that's what Daniel Ricciardo saw as well. Daniel Ricciardo went, well, Gunther Steiner, Magnussen did recommend Ricciardo, but Gunther Steiner openly said he wants too much money. But maybe Daniel Ricciardo also said there as well, like, F1 is small and word gets around in regards to rumours and management styles and things like that. Maybe Ricciardo had heard things and gone, yeah, that's not someone I want to work under. I don't want to work for that guy. I'd much rather have a year out of F1 and try and get back in to a different team than work under that guy. We've all had jobs where we've worked for... The job itself is fine, but the boss is what makes it difficult and is what ruins that experience for you and that job. It's no different in sports as well. So, but yeah, we'll see. Gene seems to mark him. He's very yeah. But he was also, I don't know if you watched Drive to Survive, but we get, of course, insights and we get to listen in on Gunther Steiner's conversations with Gene Haas. And Gene Haas is very dismissive of Mick Schumacher. He's saying he's getting too big for his boots, and I think he very much kind of holds Mick Schumacher in the same vein because of his name. But it's like, well, what do you want from your drivers? I understand that it's expensive if someone crashes, but he was getting a lot of conflicting information. Don't crash the car, don't do this, don't do that, but then getting told that he's too slow, and it's just like, well, you're in two minds. What the fuck do you do? Like, you're always driving within yourself rather than actually going out there and finding the limits of the car. And then when you make... I've worked under micromanagement style managers, and you make one mistake and then you continue making mistakes, and it's not because you're poor at your job and poor at what you do. It's just because you're under a fine microscope the whole time, and you know that every single mistake that you do make is going to be made out to be a lot more than what it actually is. And it's the same throughout any kind of industry in life and sport as well. So Mick Schumacher didn't really need something like that. So Sparta where Lando would have got his first win but crashed. Oh yeah, in the rain. Yeah. You get in your own head. Exactly. Yeah, you get in your own head, and how, especially like where F1 is such a sport. A lot of sports is about confidence, and especially with F1. Like, if you don't have confidence in the car, if you don't have confidence within yourself, then you're not going to get the results that you want. And as well, like Magnussen coming back, it very much seemed like it was the prodigal son had returned, and that he could do no wrong. And of course, he was putting in the performances, but yeah, Mick Schumacher didn't get that support whatsoever. How many DRS zones? Can you point them out? Yeah, there's two. So you have... No, it's three. Sorry, there's three. You have one down the main straight. Then you have this one here up to turn 4. And then you have the one down here. This one doesn't really come into play too often. You do see overtakes here, but it's more so overtake down into T1. But the problem is here is that you automatically, when you overtake down here, you then get... if you're behind going into this corner, so you get overtaken, you can then get DRS back straight away again and have the opportunity to overtake down into turn 4. That's where we saw the chopping and changing from Leclerc and Verstappen last year. So there's a bit of mind games that plays with it. So unless you really, really do get a drive on them, it's like, well, do you take that opportunity to use a DRS and overtake them down into T1, or do you just wait? Do you just sit there, lift off throttle, and just wait? And then use the DRS down here, because then you can hold them off and use the clean air to use the grip and stay ahead of them as they get the dirty air and lack of grip as they go through the middle sector. So, yeah, that's what Verstappen didn't do last year. He kept overtaking down into the first corner because he had such overdrive. But then Leclerc would come straight back at him into turn 4. So, better overtaking DRS activation zone 1. Yes. Yeah, basically. That down into turn 4. Isn't there a big curve you can beat yourself on at T2? I don't know about beaching yourself, but yeah, I mean, obviously, in these cars anyway, you can't run over the curbs like you used to be able to, because otherwise, the cars run very low to the ground anyway. They bottom out, they lose the downforce, they lose grip. So, but they're on board with Hamilton now on the soft tyres, doing some runs. 1:39.4. I mean, he's on 12 lap old softs at the moment. Perez is on 13, so is Verstappen. But it's mad how much time difference there is when they've got a much bigger fuel load in the car on soft tyres. Also, maybe they're trying to manage those tyres as well and not push so much. And Hamilton's now in the pits, so yeah, it's could be an interesting weekend as we come with 2 minutes remaining, guys, of the practice session. Alonso in with that fast lap of 1:30.9. And his race pace isn't too bad either. That's the thing. That's the key, the race pace. It's all well and good being quick over a single lap, but if you haven't got a good race car, that's the key, then what does it matter? And Ferrari have not shown their true hand at all yet. This whole practice session, they've been doing race runs. Well, they've done like a half-hearted quali lap, performance lap. Probably a high fuel load performance lap, a 31.9 and a 31.3 up there with Leclerc. But mostly they've done race simulations, it seems. So, reckon we're seeing true pace from the Mercs yet? I still think there's some in hand. I think there's some in hand from every team. I do think it's looking like that they'll be fighting, but they'll be looking for third. They're not fighting for the win this weekend, that's for sure. They're definitely, I think by the looks of it, yeah, they are indeed the third slowest, the fourth fastest team. Aston Martin look like they're quicker, especially in Alonso's hands. So, am I a Hamilton fan, Pro? Yeah, I'm a Hamilton fan. So overall, I am a British fan. I support the British drivers most. Hamilton, George Russell, Lando Norris, even Alex Albon, even though he flies under the Thai flag. And yeah, I do support Mercedes because of Lewis, and because I've always kind of liked the team and the way that it's been run. Toto Wolff and stuff, Niki Lauda. But I also do like Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz have always really kind of taken to them too. Always had a soft spot for Ferrari growing up as well, watching Michael Schumacher through the years. I've always liked Ferrari cars, McLaren as well. So, yeah, overall, I'm a F1 fan, and I want to see a good championship fight this year. But that goes down to the wire. Who replaced Binotto? Yeah, Fred Vasseur. He was the former Alfa Romeo team principal. What are predictions for the Constructors' Championship? So I think Ferrari, Constructors. I then think Red Bull. I then think Mercedes. And then Aston Martin. And then Alpine. Below that, I can't tell you. But that's my top 5. I think Red Bull are gonna slack a little bit when it comes to the second half of the season. This is more hope than anything, to be fair. But they slack in the second half of the season because of that penalty the aero development penalty, or wind tunnel penalty, whatever, that has been implemented for the cost cap. So they've got limited testing compared to everyone else. And I think, hoping more so, that affects them when it comes to the second half of the year when they're trying to, obviously the development game is key, and they try and bring new parts to the car. Because I think competition is going to be a lot closer this year. I think Mercedes will gain ground. I just don't think they're maybe going to have enough to win that Constructors' Championship. Could be completely wrong, and I hope I am. But I think at the end of the day, you can only kind of go on the data that you've got at the moment, and I think that's the case. Ferrari first, Red Bull second, Mercedes third, and then Aston Martin fourth, and Alpine fifth. So I think we're in for a great season though overall. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is it. P2, practice 2 is complete. Fernando Alonso rounds off practice 2 with your fastest lap time of 1:30.9. The only man to get into the 30s. Bit of a glory run, maybe. He does like it, but that is an ominous lap time compared to everyone else. So, yeah, we will see. The Aston Martin showing genuine pace. Practice 3 is an afternoon session once again tomorrow. So, not going to see anywhere near these sort of lap times, and I don't think anyone is going to show their true hand. It's going to be more about race simulations, dialing in the setup for qualifying and the race weekend ahead. I may try and make the practice session tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock UK time. I will see. But I'll definitely be here for qualifying at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And of course, we have the race on Sunday. But I think it's shaping up for a really good weekend. Really shaping up for a good weekend. The Red Bull definitely got something in the tank. Still, every car still got plenty left in the tank, I think. But the Red Bull, it was interesting to hear some of the comments from Verstappen there that the car just didn't seem as planted as he thought. So, especially from testing. But this is George Russell. Ooh, lots of disturbance aerodynamically down the straight. Bit of a mouthful there, George, but interesting. Not porpoising, though. Not porpoising. But yeah, as everyone comes up to do their practice starts, which is what you're seeing at the moment, yeah, really looking forward to this weekend. So if you can hit that like button, guys. How many likes have we got thus far? 21. Is that it? Oh, surely we can get that up, guys. And if you are new here and you want to come back this weekend and this season, remember to hit that subscribe button. We'll be racing tonight as well in our own 100% length race. So looking forward to that. But yeah, big thank you guys for the first watch along of the season. And I will see you guys tomorrow for maybe practice 3. Don't know. Definitely qualifying. So turn those notifications on. I'll be setting up those streams. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.